time to check my answers. Okay. Oh, oops. Okay, well, so close. It was the Garden of Eden, not the Garden of Sweden. And Noah built an ark, not an aardvark. Though I bet there was an aardvark on it. Well, I'll get it right next time. Hi, Pop Kids. As you can see, I'm studying for a test. Do you ever take tests at school? It's no secret that some of us love the challenge of a test, and some of us get a little nervous about them. And both of those are true for me at different times. Tests can be a lot to deal with, but I also understand how, when they're designed really well, they help us check what we know and how we can use our knowledge. But when I'm busy getting ready for a test, like today, I like to remember that I'm in good company. The Bible tells us over and over that people tried to test Jesus. They thought if Jesus really was the Messiah, God's Son, Jesus would be able to pass any test. He'd have the entire scriptures memorized. He'd know what all the complicated stories in the Bible mean, and he'd be able to answer any question about God. So they thought up a really good test question. We'll see if you know the answer yourself in just a moment, but here's the story from the book of Matthew. When Jesus was entering Jerusalem to celebrate the Passover festival, great big crowds welcomed him as a king. Maybe you remember how we celebrated that on Palm Sunday. The religious leaders in the town did not like this parade, not at all. They were probably jealous and concerned that people might be following a fake Messiah, which would have been bad. So they began making plans to try and arrest Jesus. But first, they had to prove he wasn't for real, that he didn't actually have all the answers. So they came up with this test, hoping to prove him wrong so his followers would give up and go home. One of the law experts came up with a really, really tough question to test Jesus, and here's what it was. "Teacher," he asked, "which is the most important commandment?" Now, the law expert thought this would be an impossible question for Jesus or anyone to answer. You see, at that time, people were trying so hard to follow more than just the 10 commandments that we learn about in Pop Kids. In fact, there were hundreds of laws that people were expected to follow in order to live God's way during Jesus' time. And that's why this isn't just any question. It's a trick question. Dun, dun, dun. If Jesus picked just one law, any law, out of all those hundreds of laws, that would be like saying the other laws aren't important. And that could get him into trouble. But listen to how Jesus answered this trick question. Okay. Jesus replied, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. Love the Lord God with all your mind. This is the first and most important commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as you love yourself." Every law that we have is based on these two commandments. Wow, you can bet the law experts did a double take when Jesus said that. I can almost imagine steam coming out of their ears while they tried to figure out something wrong with that amazing answer. Jesus made it so simple. He said that we should love God and love others. That is what's most important. And when we do those things, we're automatically going to be following the other rules too, without really needing to think about them too much. But speaking of tests, you don't have to take my word for it. Let's test it out together. The 5th of our 10 commandments says to honor our parents, but that really includes any trusted grown-ups who take care of you. Let's say one of your trusted grown-ups has asked you 4 times to do a job to help around the house. You've got 3 choices. Here they come. A, you can yell at them to do it themselves. I don't recommend that. B, you can pretend you didn't hear them. Or C, you can do the job and maybe, if you need to, politely ask to set a timer and finish what you're doing first, and then do the job. Which one of those shows love for others? A, B, or C? Shout your answer really loud on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. Well, I like choice C. When we listen to others and give them our attention, that's showing respect and love. Another way to say that is to honor someone. Hey, without even thinking about it, by showing love for our grown-up, we've also honored them. We kept the 5th commandment just by showing love for others. Let's try another one. All right. Pretend you're having a great time at recess or your lunch break, and you notice somebody's left their Nintendo Switch on a bench. It's plugged in and charging, but nobody's around. You have always wanted your own Switch. What do? Which of these shows love? A. Do you steal it and hide it in your backpack? B. Do you play on it without permission and beat the new game that they just started? Or C. Do you leave it alone, but keep an eye on it until the owner comes back so you know that it's safe? Which of those shows love for others? Okay, answer on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hey, if you chose C, you showed love for others again. And without even trying, you kept our commandment, do not steal. Isn't that amazing? And it doesn't stop there. If you make a habit to love God and love others, you might notice yourself also following our other commandments right and left, because it turns out most of them are about showing respect and kindness in a bunch of different situations. And we can also show love for God in the same ways we show love for others, by paying attention to God, spending time together in prayer and listening, sharing what's on our mind with God. Plus, if there's one thing I love on tests, it's extra credit. And both of our test questions just now were worth double points because by following the greatest commandment, we also showed that we have this month's special virtue, responsibility, showing you can be trusted with what's expected with you. Now, that's what I call an A+. Back to my studying.